We have some really exciting stuff to go through here in today's video. We have leaked information about Zombies Chronicles 2 finally releasing in Black Ops Cold War's Year 2 DLC season, but there's a twist. We're only potentially getting Die Rise and Buried, and the Victis crew is still alive, but Tranzit is nowhere to be seen. We'll go through all the news in today's video. If you guys are new and would like to subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. We're super close to 90k on the channel, and be sure to drop a like on the video as well. And shout out to the Facebook gaming page, exclusive Call of Duty videos over there every day, and I will be posting some Tranzit, Die Rise, and Buried remakes in honor of ZC2, all of that stuff. So those will all be posted exclusively to Facebook. Links again are down below. Seriously, thank you guys for that. But let's go through the news here. This is very interesting. You guys know Alex over on Twitter. He's been giving us a bunch of leaked info and screenshots for Cold War Year 2 content. He's given us stuff in the past, and he tweeted out some very interesting stuff last night. Up on screen is the first tweet I saw on my timeline from him, and it's Leroy from Buried. And of course, when I see this from a leaker especially, I'm just freaking out inside. I've been waiting for the day to see some leakers tweet some stuff out, and I'm going to go through before. We've had several leaks for ZC2 in the past, but this is just very interesting, and it's coming a lot sooner than even I expected. The next tweet here I saw on my timeline from Alex as well is Die Rise now. Oh my god, I mean, you know me, I love Black Ops 2, one of my favorite games, my favorite game of all time, actually, my favorite COD game of all time, I should say, my favorite version of Treyarch Zombies of all time. I have so many great memories and love for these maps, specifically Buried and Die Rise, and to see these being tweeted out by a leaker is really just so exciting to see. And then he tweets this out: only 2 would be a shame, isn't it? Which is very interesting because he did not tweet out any pictures of Tranzit, implying that Tranzit would not be a part of this ZC2 update, this Zombies Chronicles 2 update in Black Ops Cold War Year 2. Now, of course, a lot of you guys might be thinking, well, Tranzit would be the one map that people would want to see because it has the most room for improvement. Of course, Treyarch, as we've talked about time and time again, they had so many ambitious and crazy unique plans for Tranzit back in 2012 on BO2. They had console limitations. They had time constraints. They couldn't actually go through with all of their plans. Tranzit was way ahead of its time. So Tranzit would be the one map people would want to see fully remade and brought back into the game with all of the stuff Buster Out B, a day and night cycle, less lava, less fog, more locations, more Easter eggs, a better wonder weapon. I mean, there's so much they could do to Tranzit. So of course, I think they're still going to remake Tranzit. I think that's going to be a huge thing. But maybe what's going on here is that they're going to start off with Buried and Die Rise first, and then the finale of the Zombies Chronicles 2 update will be Tranzit. Now, there's a lot of different things that could go down here in terms of how Treyarch releases these maps. Will it all be on Cold War? Will we see these maps on Cold War and then also on the free-to-play Zombies title? Will we see some of these on this game and then some of them on Treyarch's COD 2024 title? Do we have to wait a couple of years until we get Tranzit, and for now we'll just have Die Rise and Buried? I mean, there's a lot of different possibilities here. We'll go through some of them in this video, and then after that, I'll talk about, of course, Victis being alive. I'll give you my short opinion on this very quickly. It's been the same thing I've been saying for so long now. A lot of people are very like storyline driven in the Treyarch Zombies community, and I definitely understand that and I get that, but I've always said, like, it's a video game, first of all, so Treyarch could go in and just write a continuation of the Dark Aether story that fits in these Victis characters. They were sent over to the Dark Aether, they were there for however many years, hundreds, thousands of years, and they came out deformed. Maybe they're not the exact same as they were back in Black Ops 4, but they're different, they're still technically alive, and that's that. I mean, they could just write it into the storyline. And I know some people might be mad. They might, I mean, I've seen so many things from people saying, oh, there's no way the Victis characters can be alive, but it's a video game, so there's always a way they could write that in. So I mean, it's been so annoying seeing that stuff, but we'll go through that later on in the video. But for the maps here, this is super interesting. So for one, how are they going to release these maps? As I've said before, you know, having these ZC2 maps spread out might be the best thing here. People might say, well, that doesn't make sense. I mean, Zombies Chronicles was a map pack back in Black Ops 3 that had all the maps in one bundle released at the same time. But nowadays, the DLC updates and maps don't release in that way. and Call of Duty wants to spread this stuff out to, get the most amount of player retention and the most amount of revenue as possible. So it just makes more sense for them to release these maps separately. And of course, if they release Die Rise first, let's say this May or this July, they could have a bundle to go along with that. They could have some new DLC weapons as well. They make money, people come back to Cold War, and then we wait a couple of months, and then we have another update with Just Buried, and then people come back in, they buy more bundles, and all that good stuff. And it just makes more sense because, for one, as a player, for me, when Die Rise comes out on its own, I could just focus on Die Rise and I could just enjoy that map and not have all of these maps all at once. And for Treyarch and Call of Duty as well, they could have, I guess, more revenue. I know we don't want, Call of Duty to make more money, but overall, it just makes more financial sense for them. If they release all of the maps at once, they're probably going to make less net profit on all of the store bundles, because it's not like people are going to buy more bundles if more maps are released at the same time. So I know that's not the best way to think about this here, but it's just a way that they might be thinking about it. And again, I like the maps being spread out anyway, so that's just my opinion. You could disagree with me down below. Definitely let me know your opinions on that, but I think that's the most likely scenario here. So we get Die Rise first, or maybe Buried first, and then Die Rise. And then what's going to happen with Tranzit, I really don't know. Now, Alex not mentioning Tranzit here doesn't deny Tranzit being in Cold War. Maybe Tranzit will be in 2023. Maybe it'll be closer to Treyarch's COD 2024 release. Maybe Tranzit will be tied to the Zombies free-to-play potential title in 2023 as well. We just don't know. I don't think Tranzit's never coming. Of course, as I said, Tranzit would be the one map that they do bring back, but maybe it's going to be one of those things that we just have to wait a bit longer to actually get in the game. Now, some more stuff here on the release schedule for Zombies Chronicles 2. Alex tweeted out over on Twitter, "I never talked about a date or time frame. Don't make up things." So this is very important as well, and this is something I always said last year when I talked about Zombies Chronicles 2 maps. I've always said in my videos that we don't have confirmation on an exact release date. I've said before that the maps were made and ready for Black Ops 4 Zombies. Of course, they were scrapped because of, Treyarch working on Black Ops Cold War instead. The BO4 DLC season wasn't as successful as they thought it would be, and all of that good stuff. And then during Cold War, we had some leakers tell us that these maps were ported from Black Ops 4 into Black Ops Cold War, but we weren't sure on when they would release, and I always told you guys that, so hopefully you got that from the videos. But I see some people comment, and I see some people talk about in videos, well, why does it make sense to have these Zombies Chronicles 2 maps in Black Ops Cold War? And I've always said I would like to see it. There's evidence for it. I think it's possible. We never knew the exact release date, and for this as well, we have even more evidence for Zombies Chronicles 2, but we don't know for sure when exactly it's going to release, but I'm pretty confident that it will release at some point very soon. Of course, that's not confirmation. People love to twist my words and stuff, so I just like to be optimistic. I think it's going to be during Cold War this year. Of course, it could not. It could end up releasing in Cold War during 2023. It could end up releasing in the Zombies free-to-play title. We don't know for sure, but I think it makes the most sense to have these maps in Black Ops Cold War during the Year 2 season, and of course, Tranzit could probably still be in Black Ops Cold War. Maybe we have to wait a bit longer for that. Maybe they're saving Tranzit for the free-to-play title, the COD 2024 game. As I said, we just don't know for sure, but hopefully you guys do understand that, and hopefully we're all just optimistic about this here, because I would rather see it in Cold War, but I don't like to make videos and just say, you know what, we're not going to see Zombies Chronicles 2 in Cold War, because I don't think that's going to happen. It's just not a fun thing to talk about. I want to see it happen, so I'm going to try to be always as optimistic as I can. But again, always want to make sure you guys know that the release stuff specifically, definitely not confirmed. The maps aren't confirmed as well, but I think we're all pretty sure, we're pretty confident that we're getting these maps at some point. We just have to know when exactly that's happening. So hopefully you guys understand that. And now let's go through the Victis character situation, because this is another very interesting one, and I feel like I'm half ranting here because I've just heard so many annoying things from people. So Alex tweeted this out, as I said, Victis is alive, and we're gonna go through this thread here of Margwa and someone else kind of talking about how this doesn't make sense, and let's just go through this here. So Margwa says, yeah, I got called BS, no way, they're alive. Someone else responds, they were sent to the Dark Ether along with other things that we've already seen return. So it's been an extremely long time though, thousands of years. I understand that, but if anyone would know how to survive in there, it would be them. Margwa responds, that'd just be bad writing. The people who fought against zombies for a few months are able to survive thousands upon millions of years in an alternate dimension filled with eldritch beings. So that's actually pretty true. I mean, it's kind of crazy if they actually have been alive in there for so long. And then someone else responds with this. They've actually been surviving for 10 years after the moon Easter egg in 2025. Transit takes place in 2035. And then Margot says that's actually true. I was thinking more of Nuketown, and for some reason I forgot that Nuketown is right after moon. Point still stands. Surviving a bit more than 10 years is easier than surviving 5,000 years in the Dark Ether. So I think those are all very valid points. And as you guys know, I'm not the biggest storyline person. So for me, I don't really care as much if it makes sense or not, but I understand people are more engaged in the storyline and they really want it to make sense. They want it to make sense. And a lot of people have said, you know what? The Victis characters are dead. They died at the end of Black Ops 4 Zombies in Tag, and they're not returning. And, you know, it doesn't make sense to have them in Cold War or any other future game in the Dark Ether storyline. So I respect that. But then people go on and say, therefore, your opinion is stupid and Zombies Chronicles 2 is a stupid idea and that doesn't make any sense, and, you know, you don't know what you're talking about. And then it just goes on to like, okay, well, you didn't need to go there. You know what I mean? Like, people take it too seriously. You know what I mean? They take it way too seriously. So I respect that storyline decision, and maybe it is bad writing if all of a sudden the Victis characters are back, but I don't know. I like just being able to play a video game and have fun and play the maps that I enjoyed back in Black Ops 2, and if it doesn't make a lot of sense storyline-wise, I'm okay with it, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Again, nothing is confirmed. Maybe the Victis characters don't return. I mean, we don't know for sure what's going to happen. I just don't see it as that big of a deal. But again, if you guys down below are more storyline focused, let me know. Give me more information on that. Maybe Treyarch has a really unique way of writing these characters back into the storyline to make it make sense. Maybe they don't, and maybe it will be just bad writing. And, you know, we'll see if these characters are added to the game. We'll see what happens here. Or it could be what I said previously, where these characters are brought back into the storyline, but in a very just like non-important way and non-integral way, where they're just operators. They have some quotes. They say, wow, it's been so long. We were in the Dark Ether. Now we're here. But they don't have any, you know, real importance and role in the Dark Ether storyline moving forward, and even in Black Ops Cold War. It's just kind of like a spin-off to the Dark Ether. If they want to do that, that probably won't annoy the, you know, storyline fans, especially of Cold War, because it won't mess with that storyline. It could be just this one-off thing, and maybe that would be a good compromise. I'm not so sure. So let me know down below. Of course, you guys know my opinion. I mostly want to just play the maps. I want to use the wonder weapons. I want to see these maps remade. I want to see like new locations added to Die Rise, Transit, Buried. So of course, in future videos, if you guys want me to, we'll talk more about what we want to see done to these maps gameplay wise, you know, wonder weapons, what we want changed to these maps, different, you know, upgrades and different ideas and features they could add to make the maps even better. We'll go through that in separate videos, but that's just my little opinion on the Victis character stuff here. So let me know your opinions on this down below. Again, we could still be waiting a fairly long time until we actually get these Zombies Chronicles 2 maps. It could be this May, as I said, for a ZC2 season. We got ZC1 back in May of 2017 during BO3's Year 2. For Cold War's Year 2, we could get it this May as well. We could be waiting until during MW2's DLC season at some point during 2023, maybe even longer. But all this is just more evidence that ZC2 is being worked on. They want to release it. They know there's a need for it, and it's just more and more likely to actually happen. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Let me know your opinions on this down below. Be sure to subscribe for more updates on Black Ops Cold War Year 2, Zombies Chronicles 2, and other stuff like that. There are 2 videos up on the screen that may interest you, so be sure to check one of them out. Real do appreciate it, guys. Shout out to the YouTube channel members as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video or live stream. Peace out, guys.